Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
It's another opportunity for us to come together and hear and learn of the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God.
This Sabbath peace.
We know all honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone
should boast.
Should boast.
Where's my water? Is this mine? You sure that one's mine? You don't even know, bro. No, that's not it. Mine's is like almost.
Where is yours?
Is it over there somewhere?
Drink it all.
I don't think so.
Here it is. Here.
No. Okay.
Well, that's the other one I got for you.
All right. Good
I
look
got
at
myself to them. I got you too. I don't know where your original one is. But lest anyone should boast. We understand that if we do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that we do not believe. In this state, we should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that we do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that we may have, it can and it will be used against us in the day of judgment. With that said, no peace to the wicked, but peace to all the saints that's in the room, to the ones watching in, and also to the ones that couldn't make it tonight. Amen. All right, let's open up to Matthew chapter 13, verse 10. It's Matthew chapter 13, verse 10.
He'll chop it up with you if you talk to him.
Sound like it. Boy.
You too. Go. Go get your brother.
It's Matthew chapter 13, verse 10.
And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables?
All right, so the disciples came to Yahushua after he is speaking to parables. Who is he speaking to parables? The multitudes, right? Excuse me. So he's speaking to the multitudes in parables, right? Because they followed him, right? They gathered onto him. He removed himself. He went into the boat, and the multitude gathered onto him. By definition, they followed him, right? What makes them? It makes them followers of Christ, all right? And so we look at it. He said, "Why do you speak to the followers of Christ?" Right? Paraphrasing, right? Why do you speak to the followers of Christ in parables? Let's see.
He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
He said it was given unto you, but to them it wasn't given. Right? So it's given unto them. Who is them? All right. Well, I'm sorry. It's given unto you. Who is the you here?
Disciple.
The disciples. Right. So he said it was given unto the disciples. Right. But it was not given unto them, the multitudes, the people who just merely followed him. Right. We have to take this and we have to look at this. And when we look into the book, we have to make sure we identify ourselves, and not just identify ourselves, but our actions identify us as disciples, as somebody who's trained and disciplined in this teaching. Right? What makes us disciples?
Hearing, learning, obeying.
Hear and learn the word, you obey it. All right? How we know? Go to Matthew chapter 28. Let's go to Matthew chapter 28. Let's try to figure out how we know what makes us a disciple or not.
Love one another.
It's Matthew chapter 28, verse 18, maybe?
Yep.
It's Matthew chapter 28, verse 18.
And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son.
Go thee where?
And teach all nations.
He said, go thee and teach all nations.
What?
Baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
He said, and then baptize them in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Ghost. Does that mean that you dunk them in the water 3 times?
No.
No, right? You dunk them under once, right? The name of the Father, the name of the Son, and the name of the Holy Ghost is who?
Yahushua.
Yahushua, right? It's one name. Right? The name of the Father, the name of the Son, the Son, and the name of the Holy Ghost is Yahushua. So when you baptize them, just like they did in the book of Acts, after we've seen these things play out, they baptized them one time, right? And they baptized them in the name of Yahushua. So he said, go out, you teach all nations, and then after you teach them, you baptize them. What came first, teaching them or baptizing?
Teaching.
So he said, go out and you teach all nations, then you baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. What's next?
Teaching them to observe all things
So
whatsoever.
now you're teaching them again. So after you baptize them, you obviously not done teaching them. So now you're teaching them. What you teaching them now?
To observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you.
Right? So now that's what makes you a disciple. Right? You've gone out, or you've had somebody come out to you. Right? You've been taught. Right? You've been baptized, and you've learned to obey all the things that he commanded. Right? That's what we look to, and that's what makes us disciples. And that's why when we look at Matthew chapter 13, it wasn't given unto the mere Christians who followed him. Sure, they followed him, but they didn't continue. Right? All of them, they went home. Right? What did he tell when he went out and he was telling people to follow him? Did he stop at just following me?
No.
No, they said, some of them tried to turn back, like, yeah, I'll follow you, but let me, you know what I'm saying, let me just go say bye to my family. Alright? Or let me bury my father. Right? Imagine that, right? Your pop's about to die, or your pop died. Right? And it's time for you to bury him. It's time for you to put him away. Say your final goodbyes to him. And you look at this man of God, this man who claims to be a man of God, and you just tell him, well, I just need to bury, I just need to say my last goodbyes to my family, say my last goodbyes to my dad before he dies, or that he's already dead and I want to sit with my family and I want to bury him. Imagine a so-called man of God looking at you and be like, nah, let the dead bury the dead. Right? That's something that we would look at right now, and it would create great offense. Right? It was something that it would cause us all to be awkward. Like, did this man really just say, let the dead bury the dead? Talking about my dead? That's my daddy you talking about. Right? But these are the type of things that people had to put up with Yahushua, and he is the son. Right? He was a man of God. He is a man of God. And that's what people had to put up with. That's what people had to deal with. And that's what people had to put in their brain and find a way to cope with it and still follow the man. And there were some disciples that were able to do it. A lot of people turned back. Right? A lot of people looked at him and they was like, you say some wild stuff. He talking about, drink my blood.
When he started off, he had like 70 at first. He sent out the 70, right?
Yeah. But he had more than that, right? He had a whole lot more than that. But he said, drink my blood, right? Eat my flesh, which is bread. These people looking at, we Jews, right? We don't eat no human flesh. We don't drink no blood. That stuff is in our law not to do. Right? So we look at him, we hear him say that. He's like, man, this man saying some hard stuff here. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's a hard saying. Alright, so we turned it back. A lot of us, we turned back. It's like, man, I can't follow you. So does that just made us Christians at that point, right? It's like, yeah, I like some of the stuff you're saying, but I don't like all the stuff. And that's what separates us. We have to take the whole book. We have to learn the whole book. We can't separate this part I like. This part, I think it means this because I don't like it. Right? I'll obey this part. This part, I don't think that part is a big deal. Right? It's not perfect. It's not precise. It's not the order that God is looking for. It's not the representation that the Most High is looking for. And therefore, it puts us in the position of just being Christians where we're confused and we struggle and we can't make decisions clearly because what'll happen is because we're not settled in one way of thinking about God, we won't be settled in one way of thinking about life. Right? In life, that's why we always say it's nothing to keep me or anybody from going out, grabbing a gun and shooting at 11 police. Right? What can stop me from doing it? Like, tell me, like, what stops me from doing it? Right? What stops me? I'm driving in my car. Right? What just stopped me from just jumping on into the other lane? Right? What stopped me from taking my gun, going right up to my job, and lighting some stuff up? Right? Only your personal preference. Right? You got some people that start off, you know what? I would never date more than one guy or date more than one girl at the same time. I mean, you start off, you have a nice little moral to you. Then you find yourself dating more than one. Right? I mean, you just tried it, you said you would never do it, and then it just happened. Because what stopped you? You just changed your mind. That's the only thing you have to do. Anything. You just change your mind. There's nothing solid. It's just that I feel my mom raised me not to be this way. But what's that? When you mad at your mom, then what? You find out your mom was wrong about some of the things she taught you, then what? Well, My mom also used to cheat on her taxes, and I wouldn't do that. So maybe she's wrong about, cheating on boyfriends. Right? So you look at these things and you do it, and you start to do these things because there's nothing solid that keeps you. The book don't change. Your mom will change, your pastor will change, your doctor will change. All this is science. Right? People base their whole view on science. Right? And there's a website called Redaction Watch. It's redactionwatch.com. A lot of people, nobody's gonna talk about this website. All these scientific, when they say a new study finds out that if you eat chocolate, you can actually lose weight. Right? New study finds out that cutting your hair may cause cancer. Right? New study finds out all these little weird studies that they got, and it's contradictory. There's one time you eat chocolate, you gain weight. Now this year when you eat chocolate, you can lose weight. Right? Cheerios are bad, great for your heart. New study finds out Cheerios may lead to stomach ulcers. Right? And they just come, it's like it's good and it's bad, and they have a new study for everything. This website called Redaction Watch shows you all the times these people either lied, they scanned for their evidence, they didn't do real studies, and they keep track of it when the scientists have to go back and they, sorry, made a mistake or something like that. Now, it never gets published. The news are blasted when the new study comes out. When they say, oh, no, that was wrong, made a mistake, you'll never see the news come back and be like, hey, what we reported last week was wrong. They just ignore it. So it leaves the people, and that's what happens to us. So we start to see things, and we believe it, and we never look into it. And so we base our whole worldview off of this stuff. And it changes, right? And that's the reason why nothing can keep us from doing anything. That's the reason why so many people go crazy. That's why so many people go against their quote-unquote morals. Right? Because you don't have anything solid to base it off of. The book doesn't change. Right? That's why it's a sacred thing for us. Right? You can look at this book and you make a decision in your mind. This is what I live my life based off of. If it's a uniform, pure decision, and not just I live my life off of this sometimes and all that, then you can keep yourself from doing stuff. Right? You can keep yourself from making mistakes and mistakes that'll cost your soul at least. Right? Because you're looking at something that's solid and you've decided to base your life off of it. That's a decision that we all have to make, and that's what sets us apart from Christians. That's what sets us apart from Muslims. That's what sets us apart from monks. Right? Because all of them, they can devote their life. I have a person at work, she just got done with Ramadan. Right? And so they can devote their life to something serious. Right? And it's a great thing, actually, Ramadan, if you look at it for what, just the practical purposes of it. Right? But after you get done with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it based off of? Nothing. Right? So we had the only true God. We had a book, the writing of the only true God. Right? The only true God. It's the only book he gave us. Right? There's other books out there, but it's the only compilation of writing that he gave us. Right? So we look at it and we have to hold to that. We have to stick to it and we have to live by it. Right?
Their Ramadan is based off of that thing. What did they do it for?
Well, it's based off of the teachings of the Quran. Right? And so the Quran itself is based off of lies that are based off of this book.
It's like a knockoff of like the Day of Atonement, right?
Yeah, like a longer version. Ramadan lasts for a month. So it's a fast. Day of Atonement is a fast for us for a day. Mm-hmm. Ramadan would be for a whole month. Like the women during that time, they would refrain from makeup or anything that's like vanity, right? So they would just kind of be normal. They still need to look presentable, but it just can't be anything extra. The men, they can't spend a whole bunch of time on their hair. They still look presentable, but you can't do anything extra. It's certain foods and you can't eat during certain times for a full month. No water, no this, no that, and so you just kind of refrain from a whole lot of things during this whole month. So it teaches you a ton of discipline, right? You can apply that same practicality to God and fast for a full month, and there would be nothing wrong with it. And that's why I say it's a good thing practically, but it's just the basis of it and the motivation to do it is based off of a lie that's based off of this book, right? And they changed it and tried to make it fit into a different culture of people that are not Jews, right? That are not Hebrews, right? So that's what we look at. Let's grab Acts chapter 4. Before we grab that, let's grab Isaiah though. And we talking about the parable, right? He speaks to the people in parable. This is Isaiah chapter 42. Then we're gonna grab Acts chapter 4 and try to pick up where we left off.
pen, bro.
This one right here. My fault, I shouldn't have brought it.
What your mama? Stop eating junk food.
My boy junk food all day too.
Gave her a sucker this when I got off work. He was running around the house with a sucker in her mouth. Hands all red.
Or something like that. That's all they ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Banana pudding and junk. That's good.
I should have brought it.
This is Isaiah chapter 42. We're gonna do verse 5. We're gonna do verse 18.
18?
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 18. Watch what he say.
Hear ye deaf and look ye blind that ye may see.
Mm-hmm.
Who is blind but my servant?
He said, "Who is blind but my servant?"
Or deaf as my messenger that I sent?
Right? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent. Right? So if we kept on reading in Matthew 13, he would say, hearing, they what?
Do not hear.
They do not hear. And seeing, they what?
They do not see.
Right? That make them deaf and blind. Right? But he asked a question. He said, "Who is deaf but my servant?" Who is his servant?
Yahushua.
Yahushua. Right? Because when they look at Yahushua and Yahushua saying all the stuff he's saying, what they think about him?
They think he blind and deaf.
You don't know what you're talking about. Right? What they think about us? Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Right? So he's looking, he's acknowledging that the accusation can go both ways. Right? That's why you'll see us, we'll quote the passage and we'll say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In the end times, there will be many false prophets. And we'll say that, we'll talk about one of these Christian pastors, right? Then what's the Christian pastor going to say about us? They don't quote the same verse and they're going to use it against us. Right? That's why I stopped even doing that stuff, because I know as soon as I say about you, what you going to do? Say the same thing about me. Right? What I want to do is I want to get to the facts, right? What do you believe? Why do you believe it? What do you base it off of? Is that really what the verse is saying? Right? Because their accusation can go back. Well, I call you blind, what you going to call me?
Blind.
Blind. All right? And that's why he said, who blind? My servant is blind. Right? Who's deaf? Right? The messenger I sent. This is Yahushua he's talking about. Let's see. Keep going.
Since you say you see. Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing many things, but thou observes not. Opening the ears, but he hears not.
Right? He said, so now he's looking at him. He's like, he's seeing, seeing many things. Y'all don't observe it though. Right? He opened the ears, but y'all say he don't hear nothing. Right? But he opening up people's ears. He turning deaf people to where they can hear. Right? But y'all say he don't hear nothing. Let's see. Keep going.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake.
Mm-hmm.
He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
He said this is the people that robbed and spoiled. Every one of them, they snared in holes. What else about them?
And they are hid in prison houses.
They hid where?
In prison houses.
Oh, they must be talking about us.
They are for a prey and none delivers.
He said they are for a what?
A prey and none delivers.
Nobody delivers. Right? We're for a prey. What's a prey? We getting on our hands and knees? No, he said we have predators after us. Right? People are after us. Right? We're being eaten up. And he said none delivers. He said we're hidden in the prison houses. Right? That's why we make up the mass majority of the prison population. Right? That's why every year there's a new private business that's opening up a new prison. That's on lockdown. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this prison. A man had to break into the prison. Not break into it, literally. But he had to pretend like he wasn't a reporter, get hired by the prison as a guard, making $9 an hour. Right? And then he goes in and he's reporting on the prison because there's no way to gain access to the prison unless you actually work there. So he started reporting, going inside, seeing how they treat people and all that, and bringing the report outside. Right? And so you just have all these private businesses, and what they try to do is they try to sell the same service that the state is doing. They try to sell the same service that the state is doing for cheaper. right? So if the state, they open up a prison, and let's say, just throw a number out there, it costs them $1 million a year. So what the private business want to do is like, listen, y'all spending a whole lot of money, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You spending, you know what I'm saying? That money could be going to schools or something. You know what I'm saying? Tell you what, you spend $1 million a year on your prison, we'll do it for 7.5. You know what I'm saying? We'll do it for 750,000. You know what I'm saying? We can do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it a year. And so that's what they do. So they pay people the lowest rate, they cut corners, and they treat people bad. Right? And so you end up having the prisons like that, but it's making money for them, right? It's a profit for them. And so you have a lot of these private businesses being opened up. So if you think about it, I mean, if you have a state prison, it's getting full. State is like, we can't afford to build another prison, right? Right? We can't afford to spend another $1 million a year. So we're gonna go with this private prison. For this private prison, what is in their best interest?
Money.
But it's in their best interest that this state prison that's already built is always full. Otherwise, you won't have any overflow to go into the private prison. Right? So then what they do is they lobby and they go to politicians and they say, hey, I want these laws to be passed and these laws to be passed. And it just so happens the laws that they want are the laws that would keep people in jail more. Right? And who's going to go for those laws? Not the rich people, right? Not the people in the nice neighborhoods, right? Because those laws would affect them. So then you have to go to somebody who's not as represented, right? So the laws tend to be for people who are not represented, which would be mostly the Hebrew, right? Mostly the Latino and all that good stuff, right? So you have all these places that's not represented, the ones that are not going to be outraged, the ones that don't have too much power to speak out, and then the laws end up being against them and less favorable to them, right? And that's the grand conspiracy of it all, right? It's not that, you know, a lot of people will try to tell you and try to teach you that, you know what I'm saying, you got the Rothschilds and the Bilderberg group, and these people are running the whole world and they're trying to control the world and they hate black people and all that good stuff. Not saying that that's not a component of it, but the mass majority is just based off of money. It's capitalism, right? You have a group that says I can make money off of people going to jail. If I try to make these laws against everybody ain't going for it. The white people gonna fight back, right? They gonna lobby against me making this law. The black people will not, all right? The black people don't have no power. The black people don't have a whole bunch of congressmen, and the congressmen that they do have are sellouts. So it's like, okay, this is not a bad deal. All we have to do is do this, and then make these laws, right? And so that's what we fill up the prisons, right? But even larger than that, that's the practical side of it. Larger than that, it's just prophecy, right? It's always two perspectives that we're looking at. We have our perspective and we have God's, right? Keep going. He said, we hidden in the prison houses.
They are for a prey and none delivers. For a spoil and none says restore.
He said, for a spoil and what?
None says restore.
So I mean, we end up coming to this country as slaves, working for hundreds of years, right? At least 200 years, free labor. Building this place, right? Built the place from the ground. What reparation could we get?
No.
He said, none saith restore. They're not going to restore anything back to us because who's going to say it, right? Nobody's looking at it. It's an outrage. They built this country. But what they going to complain about, well, even though Section 8, we not the leader. There's more white people in Section 8 than us, right? But what they going to complain? As soon as Section 8 come out, who they think of? They think of us. Our whole population, every one of us should get free Section 8. We could have a job, right? Just based off of what we've done for the country. Have a job. I mean, I could be making as much as I want to make a year, and I should still get Section 8 by standard, food stamps and all. Right? This should just be protocol. They have no right to tell us we don't have it. They have none whatsoever. It's not justice. That's just restoration. That's our reparations. You're just restoring what we did. It's the least you could do. Don't make me tack on no darn interest. You know what I'm talking about? You paying us for the rest of our darn extinction until we extinct. And they trying to make that happen. All right? So we look at these things, and if you look at it in terms of justice, Right? These people, we don't have any. The foundation of justice, the foundation of this country is not justice, right? So from the level that we even try to talk to them, it's not based off of anything. We're not even getting to the real conversation yet, right? It's so far back that you have to go, and nobody wants to go there, right? Because now it's just reverse racism. You're not letting go of the past and all these things. But that's where the conversation has to start, because we have to have a real perspective to have a real conversation about cops shooting kids and cops shooting people. Black people in cars and black people that selling CDs and selling cigarettes and all these situations, walking with Skittles and all these things that we see, right? In order for us to deal with those conversations, we have to get before that, right? And we can't just get before that amongst ourselves. We have to talk to people, right? And we have to condemn people. We have to tell them, your great-great-great-grandfather is a sinner. And you condone it. Every president, half of the presidents you have on Mount Rushmore are sinners. They own slaves or supported it. And y'all condone it. Y'all made a monument. Like, we have to deal with these things. Right? We have to deal with them. If we put a statue up of this man who just shot 5 cops. How many? Five he killed. Right? And we glorify this man, what they gonna say to us? What we gonna say to ourselves? That's wrong. We have no problem doing that. Right? We look at our brother and be like, man, that's wrong. You can't, we was just talking about it. You can't, that's wrong, bro. It's not wrong. I don't care what honor or what he tried to do it for us. Black, white, don't matter. You don't kill people. Right? You don't kill cops. Right? It doesn't matter. Those cops are not the ones who killed the people. Right? So even if you were trying to do it out of revenge, you don't kill people. It's not involved. They were trying to protect. They heard gunshot. They trying to protect you. You killed them. 5 of them. That's not cool. That's not all right. We can tell ourselves that. Right? But we need the other communities to do the same thing. So often the conversation don't come. You see people get quiet, right? See, but you never see them talk about these subjects on Facebook. Right? You see 2 sides of it. Right? Some people, they never talk about the subject, but when a black person get killed, they go on their rant. Right? They're quiet about it the rest of the year. That happens, they go on their rant. Black lives matter. Right? Then you see a bunch of other people quiet. And all of a sudden, when a cop gets killed, then they go on their rant. Cops matter. Blue lives matter. You know what I'm saying? So they criticize according to their bias, according to their view, according to what they do. Right? If you can't constructively give criticism on each side, then shut up. Right? There's no reason for you to talk because you're biased. You're not interested in anything. Right? You're not coming with any real solution. There's no way you're going to get to a solution. A lot of us don't have solutions, but there's no way you're going to get to it because you're not even diagnosing the issue. Right? You're just being biased, being blind to one side and trying to stand on the soapbox and preach and teach and say stuff and sound cool and express anger or whatever your goal is. But it's not helpful. It's not beneficial. Right? So we have to be able to speak against that. We have to be able to speak against everything that's wrong no matter what side it's on and then build up what's right and restore justice. All right? That's what we're called to do. Right? The book tells us to do what for the oppressed?
Stand in the gap.
He said, stand in the gap for the oppressed. Right? Raise our voice for the oppressed, for the fatherless and the widows. Right? What happened? What's his name? Sterling? What's his name?
Alton Sterling.
Alton Sterling. How many kids he had?
3, I think 2, 3.
He had a few kids, right? So what does that make them?
Fatherless.
Fatherless. Right? That's what the book calls us to do. Right? All this other stuff is superficial. It's superficial. It's just stuff that people do. We just become Christians. Right? That's what we call them to do. Right? You have a whole lot of white Christians. Every time a bomb landed in Israel, what they say? Stand with Israel. We have to stand with Israel. Right? We have to be one with Israel. Right? Support Israel. A bomb dropped on those people after they took the people land who was already there. How you think it is? So you see the people in Israel who are not Israelites, right? Who are not Jewish, are not Jews, they're Jewish, right? So you see these people, a war happens, right? The EU, the European Union, they draft a treaty, and a part of that treaty is saying that Germany, because they had them in a messed up situation for a long time, right? And Germany and a few other countries had to pay for them to go back to their land. and they say it's back. Right, so they scam the whole world into thinking that was their land. They go back, they move all the Muslims and all the Arabs, they move them out of the land, right, and take their land. Right, and so now the Muslims like, man, what type of stuff is this? We've been here. We've been here this whole time. How y'all gonna be over here? They take the land, and now the dispute is who has the land. So it turns into wars. So they drop bombs and they treat these people just like we get treated here. Right? You have black people and Arabs that get treated over there, treated the same way. They get shot, they get killed. It's just not big. It's not big. They get unfairly put out of their houses, all that stuff. Right? And it turns into bombs. You have terrorists over there too who try to fight back. So they drop bombs on them. All this stuff happening. Right? And so when something happened to Israel, or the people that's in Israel, then they're like, stand with Israel. But something happened to the Arabs, nobody talking about it. Nobody talking about it. Right? It's not fair. It's not just. It's cool to, like, if something happened to Israel, to those people, the Israelis, the people that's over there, it's cool to be like, no, that's wrong, right? You shouldn't do that. But let's talk about it on both sides, because that's just, right? That's how you solve the issue. Otherwise, you can't prevent retaliation, right? If I'm sitting here, if Tasha and Caress fight, right, and they just start fighting, and every time Caress throw a punch, I'm holding her back. But Tasha just sitting there. You seen that at Western? It used to happen, right? Somebody try to act like they breaking up the fight at Western. It used to happen all the time. Try to act like they breaking up the fight, they hold one person. And they homeboy just bum, 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 just laying off on this other person. Nah, man, just break this up. Boom, boom, boom. Hold them like this. And you see that stuff and be like, wouldn't be me. Wouldn't be me, bro. If that ever happened, boy, you better jump in and help me. Because there's no way that he's holding me, acting like he's breaking up the fight, and I'm just getting stole on. But that's what happens. What do you think gonna happen when he let him go? All right, bro, we cool? Like, no, you just stole on me and I couldn't defend myself. You fight me. What am I supposed to do now? These people don't have no God in them. How they supposed to turn the other cheek? That doesn't make sense to them. So for justice sake, you have to defeat both sides. You have to stop both sides, and then you can teach people. Turn the other cheek. If this happened to me, turn the other cheek. But until that happens, while I'm getting punched, and before I know anything about turning the other cheek, you think I'm trying to hear that? You think I'm trying to understand the logic of turning the other cheek when I'm getting punched? No, I'm retaliating the first chance I get because you're helping him and you're not helping me. It's not fair. And that's the same thing that happened. That's why you get a man to go out and kill people, kill cops. Right? And that's why you get so many of these people, the new Black Panther Party that's going down to Louisiana right now, calling cops pigs and about to protest, and they saying they gonna, if they have to, they gonna kill the cops. Right? If it comes down to it, the cops didn't have any more aggression. Just like the old Black Panthers. Right? The old Black Panthers had that same attitude. If y'all not gonna protect our kids, if y'all gonna keep on killing our kids, then we gonna protect ourselves. If y'all gonna police us, we gonna police y'all policing us. So they carried guns and they watched the police in their neighborhoods, and if the police did anything, then they retaliated. What else do you expect if there's not justice? Right? There has to be a need of justice. And if people don't know what justice is, then of course their justice is not going to be right. They just going to go out and kill random cops. Because they feel that's justice, right? They feel like that's getting back. It's not. But what else do they know? Right? And what can you teach them while you're punching them and holding them back at the same time? Alright? So we look at these things, it's important for us to be just. Alright? He said, nobody says restore.
Who among you will give ear to this?
He said, who's going to listen to this?
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
He said, for the time when?
To come.
That was written a long time ago, wasn't it? We here now.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
Uh-huh.
Did not the Lord?
So, hold on. The white man gave it to him, right?
God.
He said, did not the Lord do this? Right? That's the misconception of all this. We get to blaming all this stuff on the wrong people. On the wrong people, talking about the wrong people, talking about the wrong things. All right? Go to Psalm 106. Matter of fact, let's skip that. We don't even need to go to Psalm 106. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1.
Woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
He said they take counsel, but what?
But not of me.
All right, so where do we get our counsel from? We have to get our counsel from Yahushua, but he said not of him. Right? So if we don't get it from Yah, where are we getting it from? We getting it from all these wild people. You know what I'm saying? All these people that's on Facebook. That's where we get our counsel from nowadays, from Facebook. And they get on there and they say, man, it's a false flag. Right? This thing is fake. It's all set up every time. Every time something happens, that's the first thing that's set up. It's fake. It's a false flag. And they're saying, I'm not saying some of this stuff ain't fake. Some of this stuff ain't a false flag. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, let's stop and let's wait and let's get evidence. Let's figure out what we're dealing with first. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as something happens, you can't just jump, because that's an easy conclusion to make. Right? It's just something that, just like all this Illuminati stuff, right? Oh, it's the Illuminati. You know, it's just an easy thing for us. Nobody knows. A lot of people don't know anything about it, so we can draw our own conclusions and it makes it believable because we don't understand it and we don't know. All right, let's talk. Let's give people knowledge. Let's help people. Let's educate people. Let's teach people how to look at stuff. Don't just call it a false flag. Why is it a false flag? What happened? Show me. All right, show me what gives you. Show me the evidence for false flag. Show me the evidence against a false flag. All right, show me both sides. How many times has this happened in history? How prevalent is this? Right? How easy is this to pull off? If it is a false flag, how difficult would it have been to get everybody involved, including the news, including the police department? How realistic is that? Right? Not saying it's impossible, not saying it can't happen, not saying it hasn't happened, because I believe it has happened before. But how realistic is it? What's the goal? Who's behind it? All right, let's get some facts behind it instead of just shouting stuff and just muddying the waters with information. All this stuff, that's where we get our counsel, right? That's the stuff we believe. That's the stuff we start liking and everybody start following it. You know what I'm saying? You got cool people on Facebook. I ain't gonna mention them names. You got cool people on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody respects saying ridiculous stuff. I'm just looking like, and people gonna run with it because they respect them, right? Usually you say smart stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now you just saying ridiculous stuff, so people just ride with you. Right? That stuff has to stop. Right? Same thing about, you know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? You got people that teach us, you know what I'm saying? They try to get back to the black roots. Right? Black roots. So they tell us we all from Egypt. All of us? You know what I'm saying? Like every one of us are Egyptians? That don't make sense. It don't make sense. But actually, keep reading. Watch this. Watch what he said here. He said, what did he say?
Woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord.
He said, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
That take counsel, but not of me.
He said, they take counsel, but they don't get it from me.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
He said, they adding sin to sin. Watch this.
They walk to go down into Egypt.
They walk where?
To go down into Egypt.
That's the same thing we doing now. Right? First thing, black consciousness. And yeah, black power. We need to learn more about our history. Learn more about where we came from. Where we come from, brother? Egypt. So we walking down to Egypt. We thousands of miles away from Egypt and still walking down to Egypt. That represents bondage for us. All right, keep going.
That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
All right, and we still trusting in Egypt ain't even here the way it was, and we still trusting in Egypt's shadow. All right, we still looking after the stuff that they left behind.
That stuff be making me so mad.
All right, we still got people. I didn't debunk this stuff thousands of times. We still got people talking about Osiris is where Jesus came from, the story of Jesus. Horus is where the story of Jesus came from. I mean, you debunk this stuff time and time again, and people still go for this same stupid stuff. They've never had anybody show them any evidence of this, any original sources, but they just believe this made up stuff. They came from a book of a white man who they say they don't trust. They trust a white man when it comes to something they want to believe though. This stuff, I mean, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. All right, keep going. Let's see what else we got here.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
You trusting in Egypt, that thing gonna end up being confusing for you. You don't know what you believe. I prove it to him every time I talk to one of you dudes. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you believe. Keep going.
For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes.
Uh-huh.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be a help nor profit, but a shame, and also a reproach. Mm-hmm. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They all carry their riches upon the shoulders of young donkeys, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them.
Watch this.
For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still.
Right? He trying to tell you, sit your butt still. Sit your butt still. You're going to think you're going down there to these Egyptians. You think they're going to help you, but they helping you in what is that? They going to help you in what?
In vain?
In vain. He said that the Egyptians will help you in vain. Right? You're not going to get no help from them. Right? He's going to make a fool out of you, thinking that you're learning something. You think you get, Christianity came from Egypt. Right? That's all the stuff. You're not all the way off. Christianity did come from Egypt. We ain't talking about Christianity. I ain't never taught nobody no Christianity in the last couple years. Right? I'm teaching you the book. I'm teaching you how to be a disciple. I'm teaching you what's in the book. I'm teaching you what the Most High God taught us through the book. Period. Right? I'm not concerned about a Christian. I'm not concerned about a Muslim. I'm not concerned about any label other than what the book calls us. A disciple, a taught one, somebody who's learned and educated in the book. Right? Yes, Christianity stole a lot of stuff from a lot of stuff. Christianity does have some of the rites and rituals of Osiris, and Christianity, all that stuff does link together. That stuff, it cannot be found in the book, though. Right? And a lot of people confuse the two. Keep going.
Now go, write it before them in a table.
He said, write it before him in the table.
And note it in a book.
He said, put it in the book.
That it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
Uh-oh. It was written a long time ago, wasn't it? Here now. Keep going.
That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
They won't hear what?
The law of the Lord.
Every way you look at it. You got the Egyptologists and the people of Kemet. All right, they look at it and say, nah, man, I don't trust that Bible. That Bible was written by the white man. Little do they know, they hold belief that the Bible comes from Egypt and it's copied from Egypt. That book was written by a white man. They have no idea what they believe. They don't know where it came from. They just heard somebody posted a picture of the statue of Horus, and they posted a picture of the white Jesus on the other side, and they listed supposed similarities, right? Jesus walked on water. Horus walked on water. Jesus did this. Horus did this. Jesus did this. Horus did this. See, the Bible came from Horus. None of that stuff true. Horus ain't do none of this stuff. They see that post, they take it as fact. If they actually looked into where did these claims come from, it come from a white man. I think in the 1800s, who did studies inside of Egypt, right? And he wrote all this stuff. And he said, you know what? Christianity comes, and this is all the stuff where Christianity got from that. None of it can be proven. Well, a lot of it cannot be proven, right? The part of it that can be proven is true, but Christianity got it, not the book. Like, you can't find it in the book. It's kind of how we look at Christmas. Right? Christmas is not found in the Bible. Yes, Christmas did come from pagan religions, but it's not in the Bible. And so it's that type of stuff. It's the traditions of Christianity that did grab a lot of stuff from Egypt and a whole lot of other places. But that has nothing to do with what the book is teaching. So people take that, they run with it, they take what this white man say, then when you tell them about the Bible, the white man wrote it. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense, but our people, because we've been raised in a country that's hypocritical, because we've been taught not to be critical of things, and we've been taught that if you're too critical of things, of certain things actually, then you're judging or you're arrogant or all these things, so it dissuades you from even trying to be critical, right? If you be too critical, it's like, oh, well, to each his own, right? And then you kind of go into your shell because you don't want to offend anybody. They taught us this, and this type of thinking, it breaks our minds. Our minds are not built to think this way. So that's why you have so many of us going crazy. So many of us that have to take drugs all day, be drunk all day, because our brains are not built to live this way, to think this way. Nothing makes sense to us, and we keep running into walls, and our people are suffering because nobody tells anybody the truth. Nobody just stand and just deal with it. This is what it is. We have to figure out how to get past the truth. And so now we're stuck, and we get people to get high and get drunk because they're escaping reality. They can't deal with reality. I was there, I know. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. Right? It's easier to go out and party and do all these things because if you don't, you have to deal with the fact that this is tough, and I don't know the answer. I don't get it. I don't really know what to do. I have this issue, I have that issue, I have these things that I feel, I can't express them. If I do express them, I feel wrong. If I don't express them, I feel bad. What do? I don't want to say that to my boss. I don't want to say that to my mom. I don't want to say this to anybody, but I feel all these things. When I get mad, I say it. Now I feel bad because I didn't want to say it and I said it anyway. So now you're going crazy and you deal with it. So now what do? I escape from all this by getting high. Right? I escape from all this by doing this or doing that. It's not all just getting high. People find all types of escapes that's not appropriate, and we do. A lot of people have sex, right? I was talking to some family, and they just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's just like, honestly, I want to stop, but this is kind of what I go to, right? This is what I go to when I'm in trouble or when I feel a certain way, right? This kind of always how I identify it. I know it, but I don't know how to stop because we don't know how to deal with our mind. We don't know how to deal with these things, and we're taught not to even think about it. It's crazy, right? And when you're like that, you're susceptible. When you're like that, and add in the fact that you're mad at white people because they've oppressed your people. That all it takes is Egypt was the greatest country in the world, right? The greatest nation in the world. Oh, did you know the white people that oppressed you, they got all their ideas from Egypt? Oh, also, did you know you're Egypt? Oh, and you know the Christianity that they taught you? Nah, they're trying to scam you. They got that from Egypt, and the white man wrote that. So it's easy to accept that idea. You don't know nothing. You don't know how to think critically about anything. You don't know how to search nothing. So what are you going to do? Sounds right. The white man, they've been getting over. You know, that's something the white man can do. So they can do that to you about the Illuminati, Egypt. They can do it to you about the guy that shot 5 cops. They can do it to anything they want to do. It's easy because there's a rebellion and they play off of your emotions. I'm sick of us being taken advantage of. I'm sick because it happens constantly and the same thing over and over and over again. And you get these wise guys on Facebook that go and they repeat the same stuff. And they're not telling anybody anything. They're not teaching, the people that just ask a question. You know what I'm saying? So if the Bible is real, how do you know this, that, and the other happened? They ain't teaching nothing. They ain't tell, look, this is how you know the Bible is not real. Because if this, that, and the other happened, then this, that, and the other couldn't have happened. I accept that. I like that, right? Tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with that. Let's have a conversation. Am I wrong? Let's figure it out, right? But don't just ask the question, just open it, well, how you know this, that, and the other happened, and then leave it at that. And you just got 1,000 people just liking your comment. No, but what did you learn? Why are you liking it? What did you like? Tell me something, right? But that type of stuff, it means something to us because you have this open-ended, undefined. That's where we live. That's how we think. Everything's undefined. Everything's open-ended. Everybody takes everything however you want it. So now you have a whole bunch of people liking a post. Everybody thinking something different. Everybody answering the question that he asked differently. But everybody think they on the same page. This is a wise man. To be or not to be? That is the question. My goodness, that was a wise thing. Who was that, Shakespeare? That is wise. I've never heard. He just asked a darn question that don't make sense. Right? But we've been trained to think illogically that way. Where wisdom is something that does not make sense.
Can't be explained.
And what does the book say about that? He gonna turn their wisdom into what?
Foolishness.
We here now. Book gonna be right every single time. You just take a step back and look at it and be like, I have been retarded my whole life. I have been following this stupid stuff my whole life. You know what? Half of the stuff I have been doing don't make any sense. Then that's frustrating to you. So now you gotta get over that hump. All the stuff we gotta deal with. All the stuff we got to carry on our back. Uphill battle for. Where we at? Keep going.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
so what we say to the prophets?
Prophesy not unto us right things.
I mean, he probably just running stuff down to us. We say, whoa, take it easy now. Don't prophesy nothing right to us. All right? Don't say nothing right to us. And that's what we say. We reject somebody come to us saying something right. We reject it. I told him, man, I was marrying my wife. I got married to my wife. It was before everybody knew we was married. And I told him, I got married to my wife in a barbershop. He said, man, you made a mistake. I've been married twice. Trust me, both times a mistake. You young. You got to get out there, get all you can for it. Trust me. You don't want to do that. I looked at this man like, what in the world? So I'm telling him, like, nah, man, the book say, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? This is actually what's good by doing all that not live this life. I don't want to hear that. Don't prophesy nothing, right? We don't want to hear what's right. Right? People don't want to hear that. People get on the video and we just saw, me and T, we was watching a video on Facebook of a new group out here. It's a new group out here called what was it?
They're into
ICU something.
Israel United in Christ or something like that.
So that's IU.
I see.
Israel United
In Christ.
So that's IUIC. Oh, you saying IC? Okay, I see what you're saying. So yeah, so I think it's IUIC, right? And so they were preaching and saying essentially only black people go to heaven. You know, the classic Israelite doctrine. And you know what I'm saying? Only black people can go to heaven.
Everybody else gonna be our
servants.
servants.
And our servants and all that good stuff. Which is half true, right? I mean, it's true. There are going to be people that are going to be our servants. But what they're not teaching the people is, I mean, we'll get into that a whole other day. But they're not teaching people the truth. And you put off this perception that nobody gets into the kingdom other than black people. The people that get into the kingdom other than black people will be our servants. And they don't even understand what a servant is. Who else was a servant in the book?
Aaron.
Aaron served who?
Moses.
The sons of Aaron, who they served?
God.
And who else?
And the people.
All the people. And then the sons of Aaron had who as servants?
The Levites.
All the Levites served the sons of Aaron. Now, when we look at them and be like, oh, they slaves. We look at them like they any less prestige. If you was a regular person, you walked up to a Levite, what is he to you?
Like,
he the man, ain't he? But that Levite is a servant to who?
The priest.
They don't teach people these things.
Levites
So when you just say servant, you just think you just licking somebody's boots. Boy, you in the kingdom. Everybody in the kingdom got prestige. Everybody in the kingdom. What they not going to teach you is it's going to be people that's not in the kingdom, still living, just like regular people. And we going to be like gods to these people, including the servants. Some of them will be Gentiles, and they will be our servants. And these Gentiles will be like gods to these regular people who's not out there. And we still going to respect our brothers, the Gentiles. And we still going to look after them. And we going to serve them too. Because that's what God is about. He said the least. He said the least among us will be what?
Greater than John the Baptist.
If you want to be the greatest in the kingdom, what you got to do?
Serve.
And who you serving? The greatest?
Your brother.
But, I mean, the least of your brother or the greatest of your brother?
All of them.
I mean, they're not teaching people this stuff. So now you hear this stuff and you say, oh, only black people. So what you think the white lady at Channel 8 News gonna do when she go down there? She gonna look at this guy like he's a crazy racist. And now you have the Southern Poverty Liberty Center, whatever it's called. They labeled this group as a hate group. That's simple. So now Hebrew Israelites, black people are in the Bible. Israelites are black. Jesus is black. We preach all this preach all this stuff. What they gonna say about us?
We just like that.
We a hate group. It's that easy. That easy. That easy. When we teach the truth, they teach a lie. That's what they gonna go for. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. So one day we're gonna go down there. We're gonna have to talk with these people. One of these days. You talking with them?
They're not gonna tell the Gentiles that
They
if
ain't gonna
they
let
keep the
you
Sabbath, they're gonna get a better reward. So they're not gonna tell the Gentiles if they keep the Sabbath, they're gonna get a better
Oh
reward.
no, they don't even want to touch on that. That thing will blow their brain. They don't even want to think about that. They gonna try to come up with all types of stuff to wheedle around it. Watch they butts. That's how I go. Where we at?
Prophesy deceit.
Right,
Speak
he
unto
said-
us smooth things.
He said, we want to hear deceit. Don't tell me about what I'm doing wrong. Don't tell me about how to live right. Don't tell me about sin. Don't tell me about righteousness. Tell me how God is gonna bless me. Right? You know, that's what I like. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, what Fillmore be teaching, I mean, it's the truth. But what I like is at my church, it's more of a home feel. You know, everybody kind of make you feel at home, and then they greet you when you come in, and then you sing songs. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, that's it. That's just more. I mean, I'm not saying what he teaches a lie per se. I'm just saying it's like, sometimes you gotta express the love of God. You know what I mean? It's just like that's important too. So what they really saying?
Prophesy deceits.
I mean, just tell me something smooth, please. Be nice to me. Man, read that one more time. I just want to make sure I don't misrepresent nothing.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
He said, don't prophesy nothing right. Don't give us nothing right. What did he say?
Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
He said, make that thing smooth. Tell me a lie or two. Alright? That'd be alright. Keep going.
Get ye out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression.
He said, you trust in what?
Oppression.
He said, because you despise my word and you trust in oppression. What do you think these people do? When they march, every time they march, every time they go, what happens? They're trusting in their oppressor. There's nothing wrong with marching. There's nothing wrong with protesting. But they're asking for the wrong things. Right? You go to these people and you ask them to give you something that they can't give you. Give me my rights. Give me the right to vote. Make me a citizen of this nation. Why are you asking for that stuff? Just tell these people they wrong. Tell these people whatever you have on the books, give me what you already have on the books. Just play it fair. I don't want nothing from you. Don't give me nothing but what you owe me. You owe me reparations, and you owe me what you have on your law books. Treat me according to what you have on your law. But that's it. Don't create me a new law unless you ask me. If they ask us, hey, what law do you want created? Then we can give them a law. But we don't go there and be like, listen, this is the law we want, and demanding that they put a law. That's their stuff. We came over here as captives. We have to remember that. If they're going to tell us that we no longer captives, then pay me for what my family did. Right? That's it. That's how we have to march. We have to march condemning, right? Get away from all this political correct. Y'all wrong, and your daddy was wrong, and your grandfather was wrong, and your mama who was racist was wrong. All that stuff is wrong. Mount Rushmore is wrong. All half of the presidents was wrong. Dissing all of them. And if you get them out of your books. Teach that they were wrong. Right? Teach it in the school books. That's what we asking for. We want people condemned. We want people to be wrong. We want people to see that it's wrong. Right? At that point, then we can have a conversation. Then stuff can be leveled out. Right now, who want to talk about it? Who want to talk about it? If I got to acknowledge I'm wrong, who want to talk about it? So tell me, if we don't want to talk about where the stuff came from, how are we going to get to today? Right? Today, let's just treat black people fair. How many times we got to do? Our president is what?
Black.
That dude darker. Right? He's of African descent. In their minds, he the same as us. He ain't though. He ain't. But you know what I'm saying? In their minds, though, they don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Looking at he the same as us. You know what I'm saying? He from Ham. You know what I'm saying? We Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? He from Ham. But you know what I'm saying? They don't know. They just looking at it like, I'm black guy. Right? And we got more live streamed, more broad television killings of black kids ever in the history. Ever. Right? More outrages, more scandals, more racism, more black people in jail, more black people dying from diseases, more black people unfairly condemned for drugs, more black people in more negative situations than ever. And our president is what they would call black. Like, so when do we look at this and be like, something going on here that seems like we getting played? We got more NBA players, more black movie stars, more black prominence, more black millionaires, all these things, more of. And we still the brokest nation? Or the brokest people in the nation? How does that make sense? Right? It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. So at some point we have to think about, maybe something else is going on here. Maybe we being played. Right? Maybe somebody just feeling us real quick. Right? Let's look at the solution. We're not talking about it. Yeah, they throw us a little token. Oh, let's make a black guy a millionaire. Alright? We'll take it easy on this one. You know, these NBA players, like, because the NBA, starting off the NBA, you was black, you get paid. That didn't happen. Right? Then they start after a while, you know what I'm saying? One black guy, they really wanted him on the team, so they gave him some real money. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, that's not so bad, right? I mean, he's still a Negro, right? I mean, we gave him money. We didn't want him to do that at first, but even after we gave him money, we found out he's still a Negro. Doesn't change anything. So now they start giving NBA players money. Now they out here caking, right? Didn't change a thing because they figuring it out. They were reluctant to it at first. You know what I'm saying? It was resistant. Jackie Robinson, right? He coming to the league. Everybody look at him like, y'all really about to let this dude into the league? But after they did it, they're like, you know, it ain't so bad. He's still a Negro. Right? It's like it didn't change anything. He's still a Negro. Right? It didn't, like, our world is still the same. We're making a ton of money off of the black guy. And he's still a Negro. All right, let a couple more in. What's the difference? So what do you think they did with the president? Yeah, people kind of want him as a president. That's what happened, right? Turns out they're all still Negroes. Right? Nothing changed. We can still shoot them. And then we can point and be like, no, but our president's black and we voted for him. What do you mean? Right? So if you look at this stuff, and the issue has not been dealt with. Right? You got to go to the beginning. Everybody has to acknowledge this was wrong. We have to agree, right? This is wrong. Right now, you have two people that can look at some. Anaka can look at the situation. I'll look at the situation. And because she's white, she don't even see the same thing I see. Right? And so she just look at it and she just, okay. So this is, I see a white man, I see a black boy get shot by a cop. To a white person, it's like, well, you never really know. Right? What they gonna tell you? They gonna tell you, see, trust the legal system, right? The investigation is not complete. You don't know all the facts, right? All you heard about is shots go off at a Black Lives Matter before we had any details already. Oh my goodness. See, this is not right. You can't just go killing cops. This, that, and that. Black Lives Matter is doing it wrong. What happened to trust the evidence, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to, like, waiting till all the facts come in? You know what I'm saying? Let's trust the legal process. Nah, all that stuff is out the window because when we look at things, we look at it totally different. When they look at it, they're looking at, you know what? I don't really believe that black people really have it that bad. They're always just, you know, because they haven't experienced it, so they're like, I don't believe they have it that bad. They're always just kind of voicing these things, and they want special attention and all these things. So immediately, they're defending what they think is wrong, right? Because black people are overreaching. They're asked for special attention. They want special treatment, and really everything is even now, right? And so it's like, oh, they're just holding on to the past. So they want to defend. No, you guys are blowing it out of proportion. You never really know. Sure, Mike Brown got shot a couple times, maybe in the back, but the autopsy says that maybe he wasn't getting shot. Maybe he got shot like this, and it just looks like it went through his back. So, I mean, you don't really know. Nobody was there. If you weren't there, you can't say anything. Right? Don't play like that when the cops get shot. Cops get shot. You remember when the Muslim dude, they say he is Muslim, and he killed the cop in New York? You know what I'm saying? He ran up, so the Muslim dude ran up on the cop car. Or he didn't kill him, he actually shot him in the arm. And the cop got out. You know what I'm saying? They ain't let no evidence come in over that. As soon as they heard about that thing, he's a Muslim black, you know what I'm saying? Probably a black Muslim hate group guy, shot the cop, can't shoot cops, shouldn't do it, wrong. Like, why you can't get the details? How you know that the cop didn't beat up on him first and then he came back and tried to shoot? Like, let's get the details. We don't know the story. And they tell us all the time, you don't know what happened before the video got started. Right? I mean, sure, you see, what's his name? Alton starting?
Yeah.
You see, sure, we see the video with the cops and they tasered him and they tackled him, but you don't know what he was doing before that. Right? Because he probably, you know what I'm saying? Or the guy who got out running and he ran out of the car when he got pulled over and they shot him in the back. But the video didn't really show. He might have pulled something out. Right? So the video doesn't really show. Freddie Gray, right? Freddie Gray, when he was, you know what I'm saying, he was down with the cops, the knee in the back, and they carried him off. They say that he was just riding on the bike. But, why was he running, though? We have to ask that question. Why did he have a knife on him? Right? You have to ask that question. So now you die for knives. Sandra Bland, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know. When they were off camera, you don't really know how she was struggling with the cop. You don't say those type of things to the cop. So she can't say those type of things to the cop. That deserves death now. Right? So we look at these things, and it's always some excuse when it's us. And then when it's them, those of us that have the bitter and unfair hatred in our hearts, we have the same thing against them. Right? So now when the cops get killed, what is everybody that's black and of the conscious black movement doing? They say, see? That's what they get. Right? They shouldn't be out there trying to kill black people, this, that, and other. It all comes back. Chickens coming to roost. They're all this stuff, and they just yelling, and it's both sides. We never are going to look the same way until we all acknowledge, nah, that was wrong. The way where we started at, that thing was wrong. As long as we can say we're going to make America great again, nah. Right? We got to, that thing ain't never been great. We got to do something new here. All right, we got to make America, we can make America great. I'm with that. Right? But we can't say it again. That thing has never been great. Right? Because if you say it's great, then I have to acknowledge you was great off my back, and you don't want to acknowledge me. Right? I'm with that. If you acknowledge me, that thing was great, because these black people, I mean, they hooked us up. Free labor. We going to hook y'all up too. We can talk then. You know, America, you know, this is a great place here. You know what I'm saying? Give me my check. You know, this is a great place here. Let me tell you something. This place right here, this thing great. We can talk about it. We can make our vote for Trump right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. But don't tell me you're going to make America great again. And I'm not telling you to vote for Hillary. She's a crooked snake. Should be in darn jail. Hey, let her off. You see that? Hey, let her butt off. I was looking like, I was so mad. I was like, I knew they wasn't going to do it. But still, you know what I'm saying? It just made me feel like you're going to convict her. She's a criminal. Y'all relax. What y'all doing? He's a criminal. Where we at?
Wherefore, thus says the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces.
All right, so he said all this stuff was going to happen to us suddenly, right? We wasn't going to see it coming. That's exactly how this stuff happened. That's how we got here. We didn't see this stuff coming. Right? We didn't see this stuff coming. And we don't have anybody to lead. Just like you said, nobody going to say restore. We're going to get shot down. We're going to go to Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 4. We're going to try to wrap this up real quick. It's Zechariah chapter 11, verse 4.
Thus says the Lord, my God.
Where we got to feed them?
Feed the flock of the slaughter.
He said, feed the flock of the slaughter. Watch what happened after that.
Whose possessors slay them.
Who possessors do what?
Slay them.
Who's our possessors?
Rifle. And hold themselves not guilty.
This country, right? They took us. And they brought us over here. Then they gonna have the nerve that, well, if you don't want to, well, that's what they're gonna tell us. If you don't like this country, then why don't you live somewhere else? I mean, when I hear that one, that's one of them ones that make me just want to wig out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't just say that. And I'm cool if you say that to, like, a Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Who immigrated here. You know what I'm saying? Or who illegally crossed the border to get here. Like, they wanted to be here so bad they did something illegal to get here. I'm cool with that. They complain about this place. I mean, they did everything they could to come here, even came here illegally. And then they got the nerve to complain after they get here. You tell them, man, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. But for you to pick up a people who was unwilling to be here, brought them over here, they don't have anything. You take everything from them and continue to plague and oppress them. And then when they complain about it, say, well, if you don't like it, go
get over here.
Else. That is just the ultimate slap in the face. They don't, I mean, that's an ultimate slap in the face. Like, you brought me here. You paid for me to go somewhere else. Don't send me anywhere. Don't send me back to Africa either. You know what I'm saying? I need you to put me somewhere. Put me just on the edge, the outskirts of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Give me a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? You do that, we'll be all right. Until then, I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to complain my butt off. And you going to take it. You brought me here. Which at least you could do. You ain't paid me yet. You know, at least you can do it. Hear me out. Let me cry to you. Alright? But that's the ultimate slap in the face. And that's what these people do. And we have leaders that accept it. Right? We have people. We don't have leaders. Alright? We don't have leaders. We have people that just go for the okie doke and they sold out. They sell out and they get pressured and pushed into doing a whole lot of stuff that's against the cause of our people. got to make a vow never to do that. All right, we got to make a vow. There's no dollar amount, no nothing that can cause us to go against His word. That cause us to mislead our people. We got to always make a vow. We'll tell our people the truth. I don't care what these people come to us and say. None of what these people try to offer us. You can't offer us anything. All right? I had a Freemason dude. You remember that dude? He came to Bible study a couple times. Then he tried to invite me to lunch a couple times. I went to lunch with him. I'm like, what's your, you know what I'm saying? He acted like a regular Christian. Like, yeah, no, what you teach. I mean, you know, they get throwing too many compliments out there, but they still trying to argue. I don't trust none of that stuff. You arguing with me and you complimenting? Something ain't right here. I mean, no, you teach very well. I've never heard anybody teach what you teach. I mean, and it's absolutely true. I'm just saying that this, that, and other. I don't know about you, bro. You sound a lot like, you know what I'm saying, like the Pharisees. Now, we know that you are a teacher from God. You know what I'm saying? But if Caesar's inscription is, I mean, if you know what I'm saying, should we pay taxes? Right? That's how they try to do. They just try to set you up. Right? But the Freemason dude, he tried to get me on the Freemasons. Right? He tried to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't believe in Freemason stuff like a lot of people, all secret society and it's Illuminati and all that stuff. That stuff not true. Right? But Freemasons is a society, a secret society of people. But they believe things. It's a religion. Alright? And they try to say it's not, but it really is. Right? Yeah, it's based off of a whole lot of beliefs. And so, you know what I'm saying? Look, all you need to do, you can come meet with my partners, this, that, and other, and I think you'll be a great asset. You don't think I could have went? And you know, all the stuff we talked about, you don't think he offered to support and help and help us spread what we're doing and all the stuff he offered, you don't think I could have did that? Alright? Absolutely could have. And he probably would have helped. All the people probably would have helped. And they probably would have helped spread what we were doing. Right? But they would have needed something. Right? Man, you just can't say this and you need to say this. I don't need none of that. I don't need nobody's money. I don't need nothing. The Most High God to provide. And when it comes to the time where, you know what I'm saying, it's time for people to provide, He'll provide that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I don't want no tax breaks. I'm not filing for no non-profit company. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing anything. I'm operating as me, as a servant of the Most High God. That's it. I'm not opening up no business. I'm not trying to make a profit. I'm not trying to do anything. All that stuff will get you messed up. All right? We don't have no leader. Isaiah chapter 9. It's Isaiah chapter 9. I think verse 14 is what I want. Get down there and get it. Don't cry about it, boy. It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 14.
That's all right. Pick it up. Pick it up. Give it to him.
Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail.
He said the Lord will cut off from Israel head and what?
Head and tail.
So the head and the tail is going to get cut off from Israel. What else?
Branch and rush in one day.
He said in one day, both of them going to get cut off. Watch who the head is.
The ancient and honorable, he is the head.
So, I mean, that sounds good right there, right? This how Christian can take it. Look, read this verse by itself.
The ancient and honorable, he is the head.
The ancient and the honorable, he the head. Watch it.
And the prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail.
But the prophet, the one that teaches lies, he the tail. If I was a Christian, I could take this verse and I could do some work with it. I'd be like, brother, I'm old. I'm older than you. And I'm honorable. You know what the book says? I'm the head. Right? If I'm older than you and I'm honorable, I'm the head. But if you prophesy lies, you the tail. That's the book. And they think that's something to glory in. Read that verse right before it. Watch what it says.
Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush in one day.
He said, you the head? Okay, your butt get cut off too. That's what happens when you take stuff out of context and you don't read it. Right? You can be the head. And it sounds like a good thing if you just read the verse. Right? The ancient and the honorable, you the head. The one that prophesied lies, you the tail. But if you read that he cutting off the head and the tail, well, that only leave you with the middle. That means your butt got cut off too, and you ancient and you honorable. He cut off both sides. He cut off the people who was leading us from each side. The ones that was leading us astray and the ones that was leading us from the top. And he'll tell you why in the next verse.
The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to error.
They cause us to what?
Error.
That's the same thing our leaders do now. They cause us to error. They don't teach us anything of value. They just make money off of us and they take advantage of us. And they lie. And they don't know. Some of them mean well, and they just don't know. Alright? They just jump out there too quick. No offense, but I think this dude that's setting up this meeting tomorrow on whether Martin Luther King care, that's the Pearson Center now, right?
I think it's the building like across from it.
They said the Martin Luther King statue or something.
Yeah, it's like right across from it.
I ain't about to stand in front of no statue either. I ain't much mistake me for worse than the darn aisle. Play that stuff. You just meet me somewhere else. Meet me in the desert or something. I ain't nothing standing before me.
Don't mess with Dr. King no more after I found out he had an affair, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You mess with that, mess up your whole thing.
Hey, this one.
Told me just I thought he was the man too. That one kind of hurt.
He's the leader, right?
Yeah.
What he tell he gonna cut off?
Head
The
and
ancient
tail.
and the hot. And the one that prophesied lies. Alright? Chop both of their butts off. That's where he gotta go. CIA did it. God let it happen. God told him to do it. Alright, keep going. He said our leaders cause us to err.
And they that are led of them are destroyed.
He said, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So you, first of all, it's the leader's fault that you err. You get off, God's like, oh, it's not your fault. I mean, you believe the lie. He said, your butt is destroyed too. Alright? The blind lead the blind, they both fall into a ditch. That's the book. That's what Yahweh said, loving Jesus. That sacrifice itself for all humanity. That's what he said. You blind and you led by the blind, you both gonna fall. It ain't your fault, but you fall into the ditch too. And it is your fault because you believe the lie. Alright? What else we got? That's what our leaders do though. Right? What right now, I guarantee we can go on Facebook or we can go on any social media or any platform where leaders talk. I guarantee if we were to go to this meeting tomorrow where the black community is supposed to talk about solutions tomorrow night, right? I guarantee if we go there, this is going to come up by somebody who's supposing themselves to be a leader. You know what we have to do? We have to utilize the black spending dollar and hit these people where it hurts. They pocketbooks. Stop spending money in non-black businesses. Only for 1 month. Only spend money at local black businesses. Do that and we'll see change in this country. First of all, you know, our black butts ain't gonna do it. One, because we can't darn afford it. Then you think about that. If we can't afford to say, I'm gonna go to this more expensive local black market as opposed to this less expensive Walmart, if I can't afford to do that, how in the world is my spending dollar so valuable? Right? But they're gonna tell you, do you know that black people spend $3.5 trillion a year? That's more than the GDP of most countries in the entire world. That part's true. We do spend that amount of money. But if we broke, where is this money coming from? Name one black person that you know that just got money on hand. I mean, just got ducats. You might name one. Right? You might name one. Right? But the majority of what you're going to see, we live in paycheck to paycheck, and we got about 4 or 5 loans out. Right? Our house is still on loan. We still making payments on that. We got cars, couple cars. We still making payments on that. Right? Got credit cards, making payments on those. Alright, they're not paid up. All these different things. So all this spending power is really coming from what? Loans. Right? So somebody outside of the black community is loaning people inside of the black community money. So let's just say 1 year. Let's say for a whole month, right? We said, I'm only going to spend in black businesses. So now I'll take out my loans, spend it in a black business, and it really hits these people in the pocketbooks. What you going to think going to happen to these loans? Let's go ahead and take it easy on these loans. We're going to go ahead and cut them off. Then what happens to the black spending? Who get hurt at that point?
We do.
So now, we don't get to spend at these less expensive stores. Now we stuck to our black stores, and now these less expensive stores don't mess with it. Right? And we cut off our loans, so we ain't got no money to even afford our black businesses. What's going to happen to the black business?
You're going to be taken over.
That thing gets shut down. Somebody buy them out. And now who own that black business?
A white man.
And guess what he going to do? No. you keep working here. Keep all black faces there. So then we're going to keep spending. Price is going to drop too. We're going to start spending at this black store. I mean, it's a black-owned business still, right? Oh, no? Oh. They going to make a fool out of us every single time. And these black leaders should know this. Maybe they don't know. They should know this stuff. You know that we all broke. You know that we in debt. Every one of us is in debt. So how in the world do you get in your brain that our spending dollar is valuable to that level? Sure, we're spending the money. Whose money is it though? It's not ours. Go ahead.
Did you think I was going to say something?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you think that black people are offered less money than a white person in the work business area?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't doubt it. It would. I mean, I don't have no stats on that one, but
I'm just saying, why do you think that we're so broke?
Because
It's the
Spend
opposite.
a lot, or just
But
because?
it's a lot of stuff that's institutionalized, right? We have a culture that doesn't necessarily go to school, but a culture that doesn't necessarily go to school because school has become so expensive and we can't afford it. We can't afford it because now we've had to start from a place where we didn't have equity, we didn't have things that we owned. Anything that we did own, we got it in a very small amount or got it taken away from us. Right, so we have a loan out on our house that's defunct, so we get kicked out. Now we're paying rent. So when our child gets older, we can't tell our child, hey, you have a house to yourself, or you have this to yourself because I own this. Right? Now I have to try to pay my rent, pay my mortgage, or pay whatever, and pay for my child to go to school. Not as expensive. I mean, it's not as feasible. Right? So now the pressure to go to school institutionalized is not really all there. Right? And then now the jobs say, well, we know a lot of white people do go to school, so if I see this on your resume, it's a better chance that you're not black. So if I don't want to hire black people, I'm looking for somebody to go to school. That's how you weed out black people, because typically black people don't go to school. Then you just have companies that really are not trying to weed out anybody. I just want to hire people that go to school, right? But typically black people don't go to school. So now you have more people, black people going to school, but then they section them off to certain schools. So if you see that certain school on there, guess who's going to hire you? Black people. Not white people, right? Because I went to Morehouse. I went to Howard, right? So now I will hire black people from Howard because I'm a black person and I went to Howard. But if I'm a white person, Howard, I don't know if I want that culture here. Those people tend to be this way. Maybe we'll hire one, we'll hire two, right? And so that's what you look at. They're not comfortable with it, right? We're different people, we're a different world, we're not understood. We make complaints. We have a lot of social issues going on that they don't agree with. They don't understand. So when you see a black person, they're not comfortable. And a lot of us are unruly. I interview black people at work. They're unruly, right? You come in, you're unprepared. We haven't been taught nothing. So it's a lot of reasons, right? It's a ton of reasons why we're in this, because it's mostly because it's institutionalized. We don't have a level playing field. We started way down here. We had to make up ground, and they started here. So they can build equity, they can pass stuff down from generation to generation. All these things they can have, and it makes things a little bit more easy for them, right? But us, we have to struggle and borrow just to get here, and really we're not here because all it is we have to pay back, right? So while it looks like we're here, really we're not. So white people, they look at me like, hey, you in the same neighborhood as me, right? So they think everything equal. Well, no, I'm paying loans and I'm fighting and I'm struggling, and my job ain't as good as yours. So while you're saving, I'm paying back, right? And so then that sets my kid up not to have the same opportunities as your kid. Because now I have savings and I can say I'll send my kid wherever I want to send my kid. I'll do whatever I want for my kid. My kid has a different perspective on life, right? They have a different struggle. Meanwhile, our kids, what our kids have to do, we have to make being bad or doing bad look good. We have to brag about, oh man, you went to that school? Right? I went to Western, right? So we brag about the worst things because it's self-esteem, right? You have to make sure I have to have something. I have to feel good about something. So we lie to ourselves and make bad feel good, right? And so that warps our culture, warps our thought. Now our thought process, man, I can drop out, right? I can do these things. I can do all that. Because now it's not important to us to do something that's not even attainable, right? It's not something that's typical for our people to do, right? And not saying this is just generalized talk. It's not saying every black person feels that way or every white person feels that way. But in general, these are things that's institutionalized. Anything else is an exception, right? You think about it differently. I've changed my thought process. I want to do it. And I'm not necessarily saying people need to go to school and all that either, because I think that's a huge scam too. I'm just saying, when people hire for jobs, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people that went to school. You want people that have education, because it weeds out. It shows something. It shows commitment. All right, you're able to go to school for 4 years or 2 years. It shows commitment, so it shows certain things, and we don't have that in our community. And there's a lot of reasons why we don't. What else we got there? We can try to wrap this up.
Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaks folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
He said, for all this, his hand is stretched out still. What do you think is stretched out? Come to me, my children.
No.
He said, it's stretched out. Get in that butt. When he said, whack it, whack it. He said, I have no mercy on who? The widows?
Or the
Or
fatherless.
Oh, man. That's a cold game, man. All right, that's God talking. All right, that's God talking. Something that we got to consider. Something else we got to think about. Something else we got to deal with. This stuff is the truth, though. All right? A lot of this stuff we have running around in our mind, this stuff is just hypocrisy. It's nothing real about it. This stuff is the truth. All right? We got to get a little bit of God in us. Get an understanding of where we came from. Get an understanding of where we need to go. Then we can come up with solutions. All right? Then we can march. Let's march. We can march. I'm cool. Let's protest. We can protest. We protest these people. I ain't asking them for nothing other than what they owe. I'm not asking you to try to make me equal to these people. I don't want to be your citizen. Just give me what's on your laws. If your law originally say I wasn't a citizen, then don't make me a citizen. If your law say I was a slave, then make me a slave. But don't tell me I'm not a slave and then treat me like a slave. Right? Whatever you say it is, that's what it is. You brought me here. Whatever you say it is, what it is. If I'm free, then pay me. Right? If it was wrong, if slavery is wrong today, then it was wrong then. Pay me. Give me my money. Right now. You know what I'm saying? Give me my money. Give me the money. You know what I'm saying? I just want. I've been calculating this thing. We can get paid. I'm just letting y'all know. I got some plans. When we march, you know, we can march. We can go tomorrow. I ain't meeting them people at Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? I ain't meeting at the Martin Luther King statue. I have to bring my own meeting or something. All right, let's meet again. You know what I'm saying? After y'all got to talking about all the message y'all talking about. Man, maybe somebody will be there that really talking about something. I just doubt it. I just doubt it. I'm pessimistic about this. You know what I'm saying? I like to say realistic. But you know what I'm saying? Listen.
What's in his ear?
That's a piece of tissue he cut himself.
Why are you cutting yourself? Alright? But we got some plans. Just plans too. I ain't trying to rape the white man. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to rape the country. I ain't trying to make sure, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, make the country go broke. We got a way we can figure this thing out. They can pay us over time. You know what I'm saying? We can do installments. You know what I'm saying? We got a plan. We can figure this thing out. But that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about nothing else. Right? Let's get it right from the start. Then we can talk about, I want to talk about kids getting shot. I don't want to talk about none of that. Let's talk about slavery. Let's start there. We can work our way up. If we don't tackle that, we'll never get done with the rest of this. This stuff will always be an argument because we never acknowledge and show wrong from the beginning of it. So nobody can deal with the thought that it's wrong now. You haven't dealt with it was wrong back then. Right? Any questions? Let's pray out. You know what I'm talking about, Azariah? Alright. Azariah, you be talking.